Hey techies, welcome you all back to the another episode of Unwritten Lessons, a podcast where the unwritten stories, real world hidden secrets are coming out alive. I'm your host Sahithi, presented by Yantriksha X Hub. As students, we often surrounded by many opportunities, but we often find ourselves in a pickle frozen of indecision. We have ideas, but self-doubt always whispers. What if this fails? What if I can't build it? What if it goes in vain? If you find all these situations a bit similar, I think you have to check out this episode. In today's episode, let's talk about the gap between the reality and the assumptions that we aspire for. And today, let's not just talk about getting stuck. Let's come up with an escape plan together. What if a single innovator is tackling some of India's biggest rural challenges? The one who created India's first pack house on wheels to save farmers' harvests while also developing green energy solutions and using AI empowerment for remote communities. So the real question isn't just what was built, but the question that how the mindset is built to do all this. And today, to answer to all these questions, we have Dr. Shanmugakumar Murugesan sir, the celebrated DeepTech founder of MATIC and the co-founder of Tharam-Thiran Green Energy and SeriGreen Technologies. He's someone who turns these impossible challenges into real-world solutions. And the best part is that he had started exactly where we are. We welcome you, sir. Thanks for being here today with us.
Thank you. So thank you for the brief intro, and it's my pleasure to be here, first of all. So one of my happy moments, I would say, where my learning can help a lot of young minds like you guys, where you don't need to spend another 10 years to come to this stage. So basically the smartness comes from learn from others' mistake. So we did a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to share the mistakes too, that how we overcome the mistakes. So maybe you can think of how can I skip the step, right? That's exactly the smartness. So it's my pleasure. I'm here, and thank you for inviting me, and let's get into it.
It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. So, before starting, can you give us a brief intro about yourself and the journey of yourself from childhood to solving these biggest rural challenges in India?
So my father is an army man. So I got birth in Kashmir. So, but at the age of 3, we came back. So I basically from grown up in a village, a typical village where my house is in the middle of the field. So every day we have a routine, right? Like a ritual. Every day you wake up, so do clean the cow shed, visit the farm, walk around. And every time I'll be thinking of why there's no easy solution to do this job, right? So because I'm kind of a lazy too, of course. So that's one thought was there to me. And of course, because we live in a village background, so we always have time to discuss with the friends, time to think more deeper. And we have always a freedom, right? So anything that we want, we can explore it. So swimming, just go to a well, just jump in, someone will come and save you. Like this is what the limit, right? So we always push our limit so that you understand yourself more deeper, right? So what I mean is we don't have that comfort zone always. We most of the time that we live in an uncomfort zone only. So that was one of the very great chance that I got in my life. So my schooling, it's an average English medium school. So I was lucky enough to get into an English medium school. So, but it's still in typical village, right? So we get a good amount of knowledge from school. But on the other side, the friends, we discuss a lot about something we get a small motor. It's kind of a junks. We play with a lot of junks that it comes out from as a waste of somewhere. And then we always do some kind of an experiment. So that helps us to think more deeper and in the aspect of science, I would say. And my school, 11th, 12th, I was lucky enough to get one of my faculty, Shivakumar. So usually look at in school, especially in the 12th standard, you are intermediate second year. So look at, they had a 10 units in physics, right? So they neglect the last 2 units, right? So a semiconductor and a communication. So I was lucky enough that my faculty gave most important to this 2 sub units. Why? Because he knows that most of the people are going to be engineer. So electronics and communication is one of the very core engineering segment. But majority of the people are skipping it. So this should not be a case. So that too, being my students You guys should explore about semiconductors, to explore about communication. I was happy that he taught us more deeper. So we started touching ICs in our 12th standard. So we know how to put the configurations of different stuff and all the stuff. We learned it. And to be honest, the learning that what I got in my 12th, it helped me to survive the 4 years in my college. So that's one of the key stuff that what I learned from him. So of course, I always get people in on me who put a lot of questions to me, and I also put a lot of questions to them so that I get answers from them. So one among them is my brother. His name is Ramani. He's one of my inspirations. He put always a question. We travel together for any work. I'll be joining with him because I'm a kid, so I always have that leverage. So I put a lot of questions. Why that? Why this? Why? And he also put a lot of why to me. So what is that? So this was helping me to provoke a thought. So the second person is Shivakumar, my physics teacher, who provoked thoughts in science. And post this, I decided I want to be an electronics engineer because I understood the electronics to the heart. So I got a chance to join my BTech in electronics and communication engineering. So it is not to a great top IITs and IITs, it was a private institute. So over there, I got some little bit of an exposure about electronics. So it's common with everyone, right? So what special I got is from a person called Dr. Vinod Javaraj. He's one of the professor from mechanical department, but I am studying in electronics department, right? So I always interact with him because he was in a hostel where we lived. So I always go with a lot of questions to him because that's my nature. So he also put a lot of questions. He also put a lot of thoughts. So he always tells me, dig more deeper about everything. So the logic, what my brother taught me, the questioning process, what he taught me, and the science, what the professor taught, my school teacher taught, and the way, how can you achieve this in a structured way? This was taught by my Professor Vinod Javaraj. He's my brother actually, right? So to be honest, he's more than my brother. So this was helping me a lot to understand myself more deeper. See, if you look at in every aspect, we were trying to understand your own, right? So that's is very, very important. And other aspect is like, find a reason for everything, right? So once you find a reason, you will be wondered. At the time, you should start appreciating the people who developed that, right? So this is basically a kind of a virtue cycle which helps you to make yourself happier, right? So it's typically a virtue cycle. So with this all thought, I decided that I want to dig more deeper into it. So I want to join my master's. So if you look at, of course, the knowledge that what we gain from the syllabus, what we gain from the university, we'll have a limited, right? Because we have a lot of works to do it, right? So I have been for a gate coaching. So I have been to Hyderabad. I went for 45 days coaching. Okay. So to be honest, they taught me entire engineering in 45 days. In 45 days, whatever that I have learned for the last 3 years, means I was going for this at the third year, right? They taught me the entire engineering in 45 days. The class starts at morning 6:30. It ends at night 8:30. In mid small breaks, you will get it. Look at the teachers who taught, right? So with passion, with structured, they taught it. So when I was going, I went with one bag. When I was coming, I went with 2 suitcases in hand. What was there in the 2 suitcases is full of books and the notes that what we took. On the other side, after 8:30, you'll feel like the moment you come out of the room, you'll feel so relaxed. Oh my God, right? The new world that we are seeing it. But if you go sleep, if you get ready for the next tomorrow class, and you will be missing out whatever that we learned it today, right? So we refresh ourselves. So we'll spend another 2 hours. We revise the whole content. So I was like, in other aspect, I was lucky that I get a good friends with me. So I had 2 more friends with me who are with same mindset that what I had it. So we went for coaching all together from the same college, from the same classroom. We were hustlers. So after this gate, I got very deeper belief that engineering is not what we studied. It's something beyond what we imagine. So this helps me to provoke a thought on why should not we do a research on it, right? So then I joined my master's. My master was pretty different. It's not typical MTech or an ME where you go again read the same content as what you studied in your BTech. My master's was pretty good. It's about design, right? It's about a product design. So India is exactly where we lack in the product design. We are good in education. We are good in intelligence. We are very intellectual people. We are very hardworking people. But why India couldn't make any new products? Because our education system is not defined towards a product design. Our education system is all defined towards a survivor, right? So somewhere I took a different path. I understood what is product design. So when a product is, when it's in someone's idea, when the product can transform from idea to a prototype to a product, it undergoes a lot of stages. It undergoes a lot of iterations, a lot of validation, a lot of feedbacks, a lot of criticism, right? So all these things are matters, not only in engineering thought. Engineering thought is one among this, right? So this was very clearly understood. So that 2 years of my Master of Design journey helps me to think of a company, think of something where we can able to develop for our own country, right? So this was the other learning that which I got in the 2 years. So in this 2 years, I understood that research is another very critical tool where everyone should learn how to do a research, right? So, but you don't need to do a PhD to learn how to do a research, right? But it was a structural learning that I got a chance to get in. So I joined my PhD. My PhD is something very interesting. I did my PhD in computer architecture. I did my PhD in Department of Computer Science. So my BTech in electronics, my Master of Design in product design, and my PhD in computer science. So, but if you look at, maybe I don't have so deeper knowledge about the theoretical computer science. I don't have so deeper knowledge about well-structured coding algorithms and all, but I learned surface level, right? Now I can able to connect an electronics, product design, and the typical research with the computer science flavor, right? So when you put all together, it's exactly a product. You take your phone, right? So phone doesn't come with only a screen. There's a lot of things. It's just running backend. Do you think the completely things are made by only computer science? No, of course not at all. Do you think it's completely made just by electronics engineer? No, not at all. There's a mechanical engineer sitting inside. There's a computer science engineer sitting inside. There's a product designer sitting inside. There's a marketing fellow who comes with a lot of feedback from the user. He's sitting inside. So put all together is what become a product. It's not just never a one engineering segment alone build a product. This was my greatest learning. So then I understood with my PhD, the journey, and my guide always add lot of thoughts. Dr. Noor is one of my other favorite person. He helps me a lot. One, he provokes a thought. More than that, he gives me a lot of freedom to explore, right? So, of course, there are a lot of criticism comes from other people, but still he encourages me, right? So go ahead, let's give a try. Nothing wrong, right? So nothing wrong to give a try. If you're not giving a try, then that's a problem, right? So give a try always. I get this chance. But luckily, I got a good research paper because that's one of the mandatory criteria to finish a PhD. But I was actually against kind of a research paper articles because I always discuss with my guide, right, sir? So after spending 5 years of time, I wrote a research paper. It's read only by me. So what's the point of doing it? So why not we go, whatever the research I do, why can't I go look for a society? Why cannot I solve a problem to the society people? So he always says, right? So I really appreciate your thought, but you want to finish your PhD or not? So this was a question he always asked to me. I said, yes, I want to finish my PhD. Let's finish the structured form. Post PhD, you do any experiments because a lot of stuff with my family and all the stuff I need to feed it, right? So this was a thought I learned it. And post my PhD, joined as a professor. It was very nice, good time where I got good amount of time myself where I can dig more deeper about what's happening in the world. Like now I read a lot of news articles. I look at a lot of documentaries in the world, what's happening in the globe, what was most critical challenge. That too being from a farming background, my father, my grandfather, everyone was like predominantly they were farmers. Okay. So I always see some connection towards my agriculture and the learnings that what I got from electronics, product design and computer science. Then I want to come up with something, some solution. I literally don't know what to do, okay? But I want to do something, right? So, because that's in everyone's thought, right? So, I want to do something to it because my heart is connected more towards it. So, why cannot we come up with a solution to solve an agriculture problem? Now, the question is what problem? So, what crop? What do you want to do it, right? This is what we learned in the last 5 years. So, each and every stage of life is going to teach you something, right? Are you really taking this to your heart? Are you finding it more inspiration? Are you really appreciating the thoughts the people have given to you? Are you really appreciating yourself that, okay, my mind cracked something new? This all together is what make me from a rural village, which one standing alone house, to somewhere here, right? But still, this is not the success part, right? We have a long way to go. So success is basically a comma, right? It's not a full stop. So stage 1, you pass it, then you go to stage 2. You're not stuck in the stage 1, right? So this is the learning that what I learned in the past 35 years of journey.
That was very interesting to hear from you, sir. So basically, education is the foundation for each and every student. What do you think about our education system as it's built by brick for all the benefits that it constituents to us? But these days, practically, if we see the education system, many people are only obsessed with grades. Were you a straight grade A student, or do you think those grades really matter?
Okay, that's a great question, right? In fact, it's a very deep, thoughtful question also, I would say. See, education, our syllabus, our courses start from your school. See, look at it, from LKG, UKG, your nursery, primary, and to your, I would say, your 10th standard, you don't have an option, right? So you'll be stuck with the structured frames. Now you move from your 11th and 12th standard, your intermediate. You had an option to pick commerce, economics, maths, biology, physics. I think, there are so many options, right? You can pick it. It was clear that people can able to give a thought about what they are interested, right? So it's always good, right? Our education syllabus was good. Only thing is it was outdated. So the education was, I would say, our syllabus was built, our whole system was built for the pre-era, right? Now the current modern era with AI, with our computer, with our medias, put all together, we need a lot of reformation. That one is missing. Look at an example of Singapore, right? So the primary education school teacher is treated like an IAS officer, correct? So why? I was reading an article because I'm a father of 2 kids. Okay, they both exactly, one was at the age of 8, other was at the age of 5, right? So one was at the LKG, other was at 2nd standard. So look at, I always wonder the way they put a question, the way think stuffs in a different aspect. Rather than me, 35 years of old, finishing one of higher education till PhD, but still even I cannot think in that way they can able to come up with it, because the young mind can be easily configurable, right? So that's what people say, he's a born genius. I'm just not a born genius. He was explore a lot of stuff at a very early age. Okay, that's what I see it. So now look at it another way. When I give a lot of freedom to the kids at very early age, when the teachers give them a lot of exposure, like this what, find the reason why this is, and all this gets thoughts they get at a very early age, the neural configuration with synapse will become more efficient, right? So I will put a number here, right? At the age of 0 to 6 to max of 8, your brain configuration have achieved almost 80%. Okay? So remaining 95 years is what you are going to explore this 20%. So this early age, you give them more thoughts, more questions, more reasoning, all is going to help them to survive in this world far better. So first, primarily, I would say, as a parents or as a student, maybe one day you will also become a parent, right? So, or as a teacher, the ultimate goal should be focus on the primary education. If the primary education has become stronger, secondary will become stronger because my base is very, very strong. When this primary secondary is well, they know what they wanted because they found the reasons, right? They find themselves. I think if these two will make it stable, they will take their own path from that spot. But if this two is lacking, then we will stuck in what should I do next? Should I go for my engineering? Should I go for a doctor? Or should I go for a management or science? So this is what stuck, right? So eventually what happens, some random people come and add the thoughts to your life, right? So they don't know what is engineering. They don't know what is computer engineering. They say, like, computer science, super, it's very, very nice. Please join computer science, right? And when you say, my heart is more towards mechanical engineering, But it's like, no, computer science is trend now. You join computer science. The truth is not, right? See, just imagine, right? So if every people goes to only a computer science engineering, what happened to mechanical engineering? What happened to civil engineering? One day it will become vacant, Now this will be overcrowded. Now whole crowd will turn towards this too. Now the one after a while, this will become vacant. That's one of our Indian mindset. We follow trend. Okay, so my other point I would add here is our education system is good, syllabus is good, but we were not taking it well. 1. 2, don't get advice from a random people. Okay, your advice you should really take an advice from the people who is worth giving that advice, right? So 2, before that, if you explore yourself so that you yourself find it what you wanted, so that no one can able to come and interfere in your life. Okay, so I would say to some extent even your parents cannot understand your own thoughts, because you see, of course they will not understand it because they come with a very very conservative mindset, right? Then how you tackle this? That's where you should be well clear, have a well clarity, where it's your job to put them in a place to make them understand. Correct? So, of course, it's all about you. It's one individual person, right? It's you, it's your inner thought. You think, and then you take a decision, right?
Yes.
So, syllabus is a guideline. You need not to follow a guideline, right? So, it depends on situation. You can take turns. No one's going to stop you, right? So, each and every step is a learning. If you're missed to learn now, after a while you turn back. Then you feel worried, why I missed that? That's regret. It's one of the biggest problem in our life. Okay? So, our education system is good, but you need a reformation. More than that, you reform yourself. Okay?
Yes, sir. So, as you mentioned the syllabus, mostly practically if we see the schools or the colleges, they are mostly basically concentrating on finishing the syllabus or completing the syllabus however they want. So what do you think completing a syllabus is very crucial? And also, by taking your example, when you address the first problem of post crops from the farmers, it was outside completely of your PhD core field. So how did you address it, and how did you get the confidence to start it anyways? And also, how did you overcome the inevitable self-doubt over there?
Okay. So self-doubting is always good, right? So because that helps you to think of a future, that helps you to think of, you start predicting it, okay, what will happen if that, what will happen if this, right? So this chance you always get it, right? So that's one. Okay, let's come to the first question, right? So the syllabus, completing it, it's my own perspective, okay? So you need not to teach this entire syllabus, okay? Syllabus is a guideline, as I said earlier, right? So syllabus is basically a guideline. So teach them, being a professor, okay? Our job is to make them understand things in a more practical way, a more application oriented, and your thought should provoke them to dig more deeper it. Okay, see, college is not a school, right? So in school we teach everything, right? In college, a professor, they guide to read it, right? So maybe let's say out of 5 units we taught 4 units, 1 unit we didn't taught it, then you should not expect that this will not come in a exam. Definitely it will come in an exam. Why? Because it's your job to go and read that 5th unit. The question is it the faculty given all the 4 unit well good clarity on you so that you can carry your own by the 5th unit? That's the question that you should ask yourself, that you should ask your professor, right? But syllabus is always good, but confining with only syllabus doesn't give you much exposure. At some spot, throw the syllabus away, look around it with the specific concept. What are the applications, right? This is what gonna help you in the future. Not just only stick with syllabus. Of course, stick with syllabus, like, read, and then you go write an exam, you'll get a good grade. The question is, what do you do with the grade? Correct? See, you take an example. You get a good grade, right? You apply for a company, an ex-company you applied it. They called you for an interview. They called you for interview just because they saw only the grades, right? The real job, you will get it after you show your skill set to them, right? So that's very, very important. Grade is always secondary. Okay, at least in my perspective, I'm also a professor, right? Okay. So I am also a father, right? So I keep marks, I keep a grades all a secondary. I keep a learning, a skills, then exposure is what I keep as a primary. Okay, maybe in exams, when I correct the paper, right, I'm kind of a Dharma Prabhu. Okay, I just give marks to this. What they gonna get by reducing the mark, right? Ultimately, if I have taught them very well in the class, that's the actual success. Not like, making them all pass in my course. I gave 90% as my average mark. Doesn't make any sense to me, to be honest. That after coming the startup ecosystem, I'm damn sure, right? So I'm damn sure I'll say this: grade doesn't matter to your life. Maybe it can make your parents happy. Maybe it can help you to get a good distinction. Maybe it can get you a gold medal. But in the field, is that a matter? I would say no. Right? And your next question was like from PhD to the post-harvest in an agriculture, right? It's an amazing question, right? So look at PhD, right? What we do in PhD, we do research. So research is something, if you learn a way how to do a research, it's a tool. An example I'll give you. Let's say you take a spanner, right? You give the spanner to small fellows who are in the round. He know how to open a nut, correct? Let's say you give the spanner to some innovative skill fellow. He started removing the bike and then he'll disassemble back. Let's say you give the same spanner to a good, thoughtful, good, deep mind fellow, someone. He can able to even dismantle the whole aeroplane. You understood, right?
Yes.
But the same tool, correct? So PhD is basically a tool, right?
Yes.
So you can do research on computer science. My PhD is more towards network security, in network security, so packet classification on a hardware basis. It's more deeper, right? So even if you tell a topic, you will be bored out of that, right? So because it's such a deeper concept. But what I learned in the process of the 5 year in my PhD is I learned how to do research. So this framework, which I learned, which I got from my guide, which I got from my DC members, which I got from my evaluators, with all my peer groups, all together make me learn how to do a research. Now, wherever I go, I started doing a research on the thoughts, right? So it need not to be stick with only my network packet classification. I started replicating that same with my agriculture post-harvest technology, which is completely irrelevant to me, right? So PhD is basically a tool, right? So how many people that who take this tool, start exploring different aspects, they are becoming super. So this was one of my learning, right? So that was my PhD learning. So now I took this tool, I'm putting it in every place wherever I can able to make it. Yeah, exploring it. So
Yes, sir. But I think when students or anyone else, when they get a project or something, an idea, they get very excited and they make a 10-page plan for a 1-page idea. So they don't know which path to take. How did you go through the first prototype that you have ever built?
okay. So of course, planning is very, very important, right? So I never say without plan you cannot jump in, right? So that should be a plan, right? So plan for what is a question, right? So a common hurdle is that students as just college studying or just came out of the college students, what the fear that they have is, right? So will this idea work? Is my idea a good idea? Should I share this idea to someone? How do I validate this idea, right? And then should I really start the company? I have a money with me. So many questions, right? It's not like, one or two questions. So when you get all the question, eventually what happen? You will start stuck. Okay, you will stuck in a point and then fear will start driving you, right? So of course, fear is a very good factor, right? So I never say fear is a bad factor, right? So fear is a very good factor. It's going to help you a lot. So being a student, first job you should do is jump in. I'll tell you, without touching a cycle, will you learn how to ride a cycle?
Yes, sir.
Without jump into water, will you learn how to swim? No, right? So maybe 100 people can speak, okay, cycling comes with the balance, hold here, hold there, all looks concept-wise amazing. But for you find a way for yourself That is very, very, very important. A common mistake what people does, being a student, they always try to learn from others. Of course, but you cannot learn everything from others. Something should come from you. A best example is swimming. Maybe 100 flap techniques they can teach you in a video, in a book. But the moment you jump into the water, then you will find your own flapping technique. Right? So that's what I mean it. So until unless you jump in, no one can able to teach you. Right? Maybe the teaching can help you later stage. But at the beginning stage, the fear that you want to break it, then it should come from your own instinct. Says, I am capable. Okay, I will learn it. Nothing starts with the perfection. Perfection is basically a process. You know it, right? So I would say boldly get in. Okay, eventually you learn it. It's not, not every fellow comes with the full knowledge about a startup. Take me as an example. After all this degree, after an experience, still I'm learning it. If you ask me how much I learned about entrepreneurship, how much I learned about an ecosystem, or how much I learned about a business, I would say 0.1% after spending 5 years of time. So this 0.1 become 1 in another 2-3 years. This 1 become 10 in another 1 year. So the initial learning will be pretty slower, but this learning will help you to learn more faster. So until you jump in, you never learn stuffs. Okay. So one of the greatest piece of advice to everyone who think about a startup is jump in, right?
So I think students are a bit intimidated by the word prototype. So when they get the real chance to do it, they get overwhelmed or excited, I can say. So they don't know where to start. So can you share the experience with your first physical prototype and how did you face the criticism and during that phase?
Okay. So I start with the criticism. So criticism is part of your life. You cannot come away from the criticism, right? So wherever you go, there'll be people to criticize. If you are getting criticized, then it's amazing. Why? Because something is missing, right? So that's why people are criticizing it. So some useless criticism will come. So you should really ignore that. That's a noise, right? So, but look at the real criticism, right? In a product or in your prototype, something is missing it. So a prototype to a product, correct? The first step is your prototype. So you got an idea to a prototype, right? So that's very, very critical point. Why? If you ask me, from your idea, you should never straight away jump into prototyping. First job is to validate your idea. Okay. The question is, how do you validate it? Right. So let's say you got an idea of something, right? How you validate it? Okay. Maybe you go to field, go to speak with people, go and interact with them. You understand that whether this problem, okay. So I'll add one more point here, right? More than a word, I would say an idea. Let's rephrase that to a problem. Because until unless you're not solving someone's problem, they'll not buy your product. You understood, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's more than idea. Are you having a real problem, right? So your idea is your problem is more important than your idea, because idea is very vague and it can be futuristic. It can be something superficial, or it can be it can be in any form. But problem cannot be in that way. Problem should be a grounded one. Problem should be an existing one, right? So first, I would say, find a problem to solve. Okay, don't seek for an idea, right? From idea only you will get the problems, right? So let's say I want to do in agriculture. I want to do something in agriculture is my idea. But eventually I found out there's a problem in the post-harvest, especially in the post-harvest on farm, right? So this was the problem that we have identified it. Your first journey should be identify a right problem in your idea, right? Then go build a prototype for that problem after validation. Validation comes only when you jump into the field. You sit in a room, you sit with the laptop, you speak with the Chatty or Gemini, and then write hundreds of lines of prompts, you get all this answer. All good. It gives you some thoughts. But the real problem solving, the real problem understanding, a validation comes only when you jump into the field. So go speak with the user, whomever you believe it. Go random, like, okay, one of the other most important things that they should have it and hesitated to speak, right? So you should go and speak with anyone. Build this character eventually, right? So let's say you go in an auto, right? So interact with the auto wala. Like, you speak with them. Or let's say you are going in a bus, sit with a nearby fellow. But eventually what happened today, we stick with our phone, right? That's another one of the problem. Okay. So problem to prototype. Okay. Idea to a problem to prototype. Okay. I'm refining this.
Yes.
Right. So find a problem. Let's say you identify the right problem that you want to solve it. Mark my word, you already crossed 50% of your bill. Finding a right problem is the most challenging. So take a startup. Out of 100 startups, it's a global statistics. Out of 100 startups, 90 startup fails. Out of 90 startup, 50 startup fails just because of their product is not fitting to the market. What do you mean product's not fitting? You're not solving someone's real problem. You come with your own crazy thoughts and then you build a product. But no one is ready to buy the product.
Yes.
You got the point, right? So if you don't want to get into this 50% of this startup who's failing it, your first job is to find a problem, solve the problem. That's where your actual entrepreneurship skills begins. Okay? So not idea to prototype, idea to problem to prototype. Initial prototype can be in any form. Like, for example, in our case, for the whole deformation, we bought some 10 PVC pipes to replicate this, right? It's a matter of 500, 600 rupees. If you want to build the whole machine, let us spend some lakhs and lakhs. After that, they will say it's not working. You got to know. So you see, that's the beauty of our Indian mindset, right? So we don't want anything to build the perfection, right? So we find whatever things in and around, take it. Okay, let's give a try how it's working. This is very, very important, right? This mindset of live what you have it, right? With more ground research, with the people, a feedback from the people, understanding their pain, put all together will lead you to a good prototype. This good prototype, you make it, I would say, in the form of pilot, you take it to the field, you test it. Now you will have even more learning because the actual user will use this. Then they give you a lot of feedback, refine it. It's an iteration, right? It's not it's going to not stop with one. A lot of iterations. And then you can come with some product, a good product. But that's not the best product, mark my word, okay?
Yes.
It's a good product. You will get it. You take this product to the market, start selling it, make revision. You'll reach it, okay? You know what? Today, the Google search. So 1995, they started it, Google search. Now it's almost how many years? 30 years? Even till today, every day they'll go for 5 to 6 times of updates. You understood, right? Because the refinement is needed. People are changing it, right? So product is an evolution. It evolves over time, right? So never comes perfection first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, if they have chosen the right problem to solve, but what about the financial reality? Like we see millions of funding in newspapers and all.
Yes.
If you're comfortable in sharing about the initial funding of your project, where did it come from?
Of course. That's another great question, right? So being an Indian, we always think cost,
Yes.
right? So money, or my life security, right? So also one, right? So to be honest, in today's scenario, in 2025, let's say you got a really great idea got validated. So the first investment of your company, the first investment to your startup is not the money, it's your time. Okay? So your time is the best investment at the early stage. Let's say you put a lot of time, you understood, you got a problem statement, you validate the problem statement. Now you need a money to do a prototype, correct? So do you want to put the money from your pocket to build a prototype? I would say no. Do you need your parents to put the money? I would say no. Provided you got a good problem statement, provided you got a great validation, says yes, the problem is existing in the ground. If I come up with the solution, people are ready to take my solution, right? Then you don't need to worry about your fund. Why? Because that's where your incubation center plays a role. Let's take an example. You are VelTech TBA, Technological Business Incubator.
Yes.
What the name says, it's a technology, right? So technological business. So can I convert the technology, what I have learned, convert it into a business? If I can achieve it, An incubator. What do you mean by incubation? What's where you similarly hear this incubation? Is it a very early stage kids?
Yes.
They put it in an incubator to
Reduce.
help them, right? So to ready to survive in the real environment. That's exactly incubator. You had a problem. You are going to build a solution. You know the plan, like this how it's gonna be. And what you need is money, what you need is space, what you need is certain tools to make it ready. So your incubation center is what gonna play the next crucial role next to you. They're gonna help us giving you money, early grants. We started with the 2.4 lakh, and then we got a 10, and then we got 25, and then we got 15, and so on, right? So it's not like, one shot where you'll get like, $6 million in your account. Never happens.
Yes.
Right? So maybe they got the $6 million in Series A after 8-10 years of struggle. What we miss is, we miss to see that the 8 years of struggle, you look at that only one instant, you say, wow.
Yes.
I'll give you a best example. You see a lot of posts in your Instagram and YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.
You feel that this guy is so amazing. In his whole life, you see only 30 seconds. You can't judge a person with 30 seconds, It's similar to what? Right? So, money comes to you if you are chasing your dream, if you are chasing the right path, if you are chasing the right problem to solve it. Money is, I would say, not at all a constraint at the early stage. When you grow, the problem becomes different, okay? So, but to be honest, problem is part of your life. Like I said, like criticism, right? It's there, of course. That's what, wherever the problem exists, that's where the challenging is there, right? So that's where you can able to put your effort, right? So it's always there. But money is not at all a problem.
That's a crucial dose of reality, sir. But what about the loneliness? Like in college or everywhere, you're surrounded by your peers. They help you one or the other way. But suddenly you're left alone with a problem that no one else understands. So how did you build the support system to cope with it?
Okay. So what I suggest, right? So, or what I have learned in the journey is a startup should go with a co-founders. In the country, why you want to have a co-founder, right? So idea, soul alone, mine. Okay. So why you need a co-founder? We human being, we are bots where I always think in the same direction, right? We do have an emotion.
Yes, sir.
Like, after 2 years of effort, you will get to know that this is not going to work. Okay. It's a very ground startup reality. Okay. After 2 years of effort, at some point, at some validation in the field, you understand this is not going to work. What you do at this point? You feel low, right?
Yes.
That's where the co-founder is going to help you, right? And your job is to find a co-founder who is complementary with your skill sets.
Yes.
Like, I'm also an engineer. He's also engineer in same computer science. I'm good at ML. He's also good at ML. No. Your co-founder group should be a kind of an interdisciplinary team where every fellow skill set will be complemented by the other fellow.
Yes.
If I'm good at coding, then you should be very good at marketing, right? So if I'm really good at an electronics, that should be one more fellow who's good at mechanical systems, right? So that should be one business fellow. This combination is very, very critical, right? And to be honest, getting a people with the mindset from this diverse segment is difficult. But being a student, you always have a leverage, right? Because you get so many friends, right? And maybe one more advice what I will give is, like, don't take them into a co-founder list at very early. Take them as a co-founder eventually. Put them into the team. Let's look at what is their contribution, what is their accountability, how passionate towards driving this, right? And of course, being a very early fellow, because you had thought about it, he also should believe in you, right?
Yes, sir.
And also he should understand your vision. Eventually that become his vision also.
Yes.
Now, the moment you build this team, that's the next success story for you. One is the problem, right? You identify the right problem. Then you build a beautiful team. So money I never added here, right, at the early stage, because your VelTech DBA gives you money for this, provided you go and pitch them and you will get this money. So first was your problem, next was your team. right? So with this, you get a money, you can initially survive first 2-3 years, right? So moment I say years, I never say months, because it's not like a startup, like, I build an app where I deliver thousands of people. We discuss about a deep tech, right? So where you start develop our own technology, it takes time. Don't be hurry, right? It really takes time. Okay, spend good amount of time, learn, understand. Eventually, in the journey, your experience is gonna be amazing, right?
Yes, sir.
So building a team was one of the very, very important for you, right? It's sole your job, being a founder, right?
So the reality is tough, but it's still controllable. Let's make this practical, sir. I'll give you a student mindset trap, which makes a student feel stuck, and I need you to give a founder's play to counter it. So let's get started. Okay, sir. Let's go with trap number 1. I need to do more research before I start.
No, start. Research will come with you, right? So as I said, swimming comes only you jump into the water, right? So research secondary, starting is the primary.
Trap number 2. I don't have the money to build my idea.
So money comes second once you build your idea, once you build your problem statement. So money is secondary always.
Let's move on to the third one, sir. I'm afraid someone will steal my brilliant idea.
Amazing, right? So what if everyone thinks the same way? Then who will put money to you, first of all, right? So someone will not come and put money just by looking at my face. Somewhere I should really tell my problem, right? So I would say, rather than you try to secure your idea, focus on the problem. See, do you really think if I tell my idea to someone that they can able to build the machine that what I have built it? Of course not. Maybe the idea is one line, but the learning that what I had is like years and years of history. No one can able to teach the history, right? So they can able to teach my idea, like steal my idea, but what they do with this idea, right? So maybe I would say you should really share your idea to a lot of people rather than an idea. Tell the problem, right? So if identify the problem, share the problem with a lot of insightful people, find the right people, and get the feedback from them. That is what the most smartest move, I would say. Never think of someone steal your idea, right? If that's the case, like everything would have been stealed by someone, right? So why Google is still Google? Someone still is Google idea that have replicated even with better. Why? Because Google idea was something a Google search, right? But later they refine. Now the complete internet is acquired by them almost.
Yes.
So it's not about stealing an idea at all.
So trap number 4. I'm not qualified enough. I'm just a student.
Okay, that's an amazing question. So then, which means that every startup should be started by some age of 50, 60 year people. And go and look at how many people are there at the age of 60, 50 in startup. I have seen people like that, but very, very limited, right? So maybe less than 1%. Whom I see more in the startup ecosystem is the students. Just college passed out, still they are in a college. To be honest, I saw school kids who are building an amazing startup, right? So I would never say qualification, age is one of the criteria for a startup ecosystem. It's all a myth only, like, no education, nothing. Is it all about, are you having the courage? Are you having that vision that you want to build something great? That's it.
So the last one, sir. I failed in my first attempt.
Okay.
It's over and a failure.
Okay, that's beautiful, right? So, of course, failure is part of our life. There's no doubt. I mean, you would have failed. Maybe when you started riding a cycle, you would have fallen. So, fall was a failure.
Yes.
But have you stopped there? No, right? You give the next try. Come on, let's give me a try. Try. Eventually, you start wheeling in cycle also. So, it's all about try for the next. So, failure is one of, which is very common story they'll say, right? Failure is a stepping stone for success, right? So, see that your failure as a learning. Never see that as your failure which is going to stop you. Each and every failure is a learning. Take a startup. We failed in the first product, We failed after spending like 24 lakhs. It failed. So, you would have stopped. Then what are the learning that we had in the last 3 years would have been gone.
Yes, sir.
So, that's the team spirit. Now, I connect the dots, right? The team, the product, and all together. And to be honest, almost you look at all the success made startups, right, who have succeeded in the timeline. almost 95% of the startups have took a pivot. Pivot means they come up with the one idea, they come with solving one problem. Eventually, they find it something is more important than that. They took a pivot. It's one of the failure for them, right? Oh, spend so much learning, money, everything. It failed. They took a pivot. Every pivot lead them to success path, right? So you should not really worry about failure. Failure is all learning. And one of my mentor, right? So in the startup ecosystem, Dr. Sanjay,
Okay.
whenever we get stuck, we give him a call, right? So he always says, see, every situation will have a fade, full of fog. Okay, you don't know what to do with. The moment fogs move away, you will get a clarity. If there is no fog at all, then what you are searching itself, you don't know what. Right? So fog is good. When there is no clarity, it's good. So that you start finding a new clarity. It's going to help you understanding more deeper. Right? So failure is part of the life. You should accept it and you should really get into failure. Okay, let's say you see only success, then you never face the failure. You never learn something new because everything was already established. You are keep following it. Right? So startup is something you are exploring new. The road was not there. Nothing was there. You are building something new. Of course, there'll be a failure, right? It's all learning it.
So I'd like to ask you to give students an escape plan so that it helps students to evolve, that they meet the expectations of this fast-paced society.
An escape plan, right?
Yes, sir.
For students.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So one of my biggest worry. Okay. So being a citizen of India, so being a professor, being a startup owners where I interact with Gen Zs, where I have my kids in my home, Gen Alpha, Beta, QQ, whatever. One of my greatest worry with these kids, with the students, with even the common people, I would say, like, we spend a lot of time on what? On screen.
Yes.
Screen time. Right? So knowingly or unknowingly, we have been trapped into the screen. Right? Let's take an example. Let's say, Chuma, you are sitting in a bus stand. You can sit idle. Right? So what you do, you start taking your phone.
Yes, sir.
You start swiping. Some shots, short content. You swipe, you swipe, you swipe. You forget the time actually. You know?
Yes, sir.
We call this as a brain rot. So unknowingly your brain is getting rotten and you feel that is the most, I would say, the reward that you are getting it. It's typical problem. Just do a small math here, right? A classroom has 60 people. 60 people spend 6 hours of screen time. So 16 to 6 is 360. So per day, 60 people from your class alone spend 360 hours of screen. And think another aspect, right? So Instagram gives the whole content for free. Are you paying to Instagram? But Instagram spends lots of money on building the infrastructure, cloud and all the stuff.
Yes.
Who will give money to them?
Advertise.
Someone. So the ultimate goal of Instagram is to what? You want to engage in the phone because you are the product. You are not paying anything to them, right? So you are the product now. Think of it. Your class alone 360 hours. 360 man-hour of intelligent people gone drained without anything. Right? Take your department. Take your college.
Yes, sir.
Take your city. Take a state. Take a country. Calculate a number. Oh my God. You understood?
Yes, sir.
So one of the most problem with our youngsters, they feel it happier when they look at the screen, the comments, the likes, and the short content, right? If I ask you, you would have saw some 50 shots yesterday. Can you remember at least one shot?
Yes.
No, right? Why? Because you are putting so many contents to your head, which your brain itself cannot digest that. You got it, right? So
Yes, sir.
one of the biggest escape plan that you guys should start with is stop using phone. Of course, you don't like that, but that is the truth. Stop watching short content. You really want to watch I don't want you to throw the phone away, right? Keep the phone with you. Stop the notifications. Notification is an instant killer. Okay, you will be focusing on something. Let's say you are writing a code about it. A sudden notification, as like an animal is coming to you to attack, you give a response to it.
Yes.
You got it right. So it's very, very bad. No, first, your escape plan should be go to your settings, stop all the notification. Prime Minister is not going to call you. Correct? President is not going to call you. What max you will get a call from your parents. You tell parents that let's call after my dinner, 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Fix a time. Rest all the time. Throw this phone, keep it away. You want to read it? Don't start read from your phone. Move to a laptop. Best, take a books. So that no distraction, right? You should have a group of people to discuss, right? What you guys are discussing it. Okay. So let's build the escape plan now, right? So 1, wake up in the morning. The first job you should not do is open your phone, check the notification. First job, because that's what we do it, I know it, right? So take 10-15 minutes of time, walk around, right? Then come sit. Okay, all should happen in a structured timeline. Wake up, if you're capable enough to wake up at 4:30, it's amazing. There is a book called 4 a.m. Club. Oh my God, that's a very insightful book. It speaks about what are the benefits that you get, you wake up by 4 a.m. I'll add one more point here. Look at all the entrepreneurs, like start from Bill Gates, Steve, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, anyone you name it, right? They wake up very early. I myself am feeling it. When I was waking up late, I feel day was very short. When I wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, by morning 7 o'clock, I have completed half of my work. Right? So only the remaining half of the work I will prolong it for the whole day. Right? I get so much of space and the time where I can able to think about something new. I can spend more time with my kids, my family, my teammates and so on. Some days I'll wake up at 8 or 9 o'clock. The day was very, very short. I'm fully bagged. I feel more stressed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's one common thing that find a right time. Just don't do it for entire life. Give a try for a week, as you said. Wake up at morning 4:35, 5:30. You find a comfortable time. Okay. After wake up, don't look at the phone. Walk around in a good tree environment. You come back. Pick a good book, right? Maybe you are more focused towards an education or a startup. Maybe a lot of books, okay, hundreds of books. Atomic Habit is an amazing book, okay? Or you can read a book called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. That's beautiful book for you guys actually. Being a startup, being a students, maybe that's another interesting book. Currently I'm reading a book called Chutzpah. It's an Israeli book, like written by Isabel Arella. It's like, wow, very interesting book about why Israel is like innovation hub. Like how Israel with lots of struggles and how they are still one of the best in the innovation, right? You take anything per capita, they are on the top, right? So how they achieved that? So this is what the book is about. It's a very interesting book, right? So take 1 hour, read how much you can able to do it, right? Read it, right? And then you should touch the phone. See, reply to your friends and so on. And maybe then you start going for breakfast, take your regular day, class and so on. But one of the job is the one whole week, no notifications. Okay, I would suggest it, delete apps. It's maybe in the long run, if you see, you would have gained nothing out of it. You would have lost all of yourself. Okay, I'll put in one more example here, madam. Let's say you go to a movie. Okay, the movie was very sad ending. When you come out of this movie, till the day night, you carry that emotion. I don't know. I carry that. Okay.
Yes.
I feel very bad. Or what's happened in the movie? If I have went for any good movie, like Surya Repotru, right? That aeroplane,
Yes.
right? So you feel so motivated, like, you courage, come on, yes, we should do it, right? The emotion is very important. The problem with the short content, right? Every 10 seconds, your emotion is changing.
Yes.
Can you see it, right? So eventually you become emotionally unstable, you lose your patience, you consume nothing, but you believe that you consume a lot of things. It's all basically, I would say, a myth. It's all basically an assumption that you are adding it. In the truth, one of the biggest problem to our country is, I really don't bother about the older people who consume phones because they lived it.
Yes.
But you being a student consuming so much of time on the phone it's a country problem, sir. It's a country problem.
Yes.
It's, I would say, like, is a drug is a problem? Yes, it's a problem. Is it a politician is a problem? Yes, it's a problem. Is it corruption is a problem? Yes, it's a problem. But on top of all, I keep the youngsters' screen time is deadly. It's very deadly. Somehow, even I believe that government also should come up with some, I don't know, really, I also don't know. I'm keep thinking about it. But this problem should be sorted out. It can be sorted only by self-realization. That's why I put this point, right? So, your escape plan should be come away from the screen, wake up, walk around, read a book, be bored, sit idle. Sitting idle is one of the best thing. Trust me, I solved my PhD core research problem when I was sitting idle. Not only me. Take Newton. He was sitting idle, he got gravity. Or you take J.K. Rowling, she was traveling in a train, she was like boredom, so no, started building a story. Take any fellows, right? Or you take even Elon Musk, right? So he was all lonely. Okay, he wanted to do something. That's why he come up with thought of Mars, right? Because he had a telescope, he was looking at the Mars. You understood, right? So keep yourself bored at this age so that you get time to think. So what exactly your phone is not doing is it's not giving you time to think. Okay, can you see? Everything I can connect to this one device that in your pocket.
Yes.
And we treat that as part of our body. Correct, no?
Yeah.
Wherever you go, phone. Let's say your phone is not there in your pocket. You know what's the feeling that your heart is telling? It started beating faster. Correct? It's a problem. So why we are so much dependent on it, right? Of course, phone is meant for communication. It's also a lot of challenges. It's one of the amazing innovation. But eventually this is getting diverted now. Now who can able to save you from this is only you. No one can able to do that. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's your escape plan.
Yes, sir. So I think this will be a very helpful plan for all the students. That's a great plan, sir. I hope it will be helpful for many students. And it perfectly illustrates the difference between the student mindset and the startup reality. Let's have some fun with it and put it to a test with a blitz questionnaire. I'll call it Founder's Instinct. I'll give you two options in which you have to choose the one which is really prioritized to you and throw your views on it.
Okay.
Listeners, take your guess and play along with it. So I hope you're ready. A perfect business plan or first paying customer?
First paying customer. Because business plan is, eventually you will learn it, right? So perfect plan will come later. But the first paying customer, because you know that it's a right problem that I'm solving. Someone is ready to pay, right? That's one of the greatest success.
Seeking funding or seeking feedback?
Seeking feedback is very critical than seeking funding, because once you get right feedback, your product is good. Once you get a good product, fund will seek you. You don't need to seek the fund, right? So
A 100-page market research report or a 10-minute conversation with a real-time user?
1 minute conversation with a real-time user is more important than you speak 1,000 pages of documents.
Chasing perfection or shipping the update?
Perfection is a process. It's evolve. But shipping an update is very, very important, because perfection comes from this updates only, right? So you put this to a people, he use it, he gives you feedback, and then you come refine your product. It become perfect level 1. Level 2, the level is infinite, right? So it never stops.
A detailed roadmap or a compass?
Okay, detailed roadmap or a compass, right? Okay. Detailed roadmap is something, if it is existing, then you don't need to come for a startup. Correct? Because already existing, anyone can able to do it. So being a startup is something we are solving a problem which was never solved earlier. Correct? That's exactly a startup is, right? Something new that you're coming up with it. Of course, a compass. A compass is going to help you to guide to reach the destination. A existing business plan never going to help you to build a new tech startup. It's not going to help you.
Protecting your idea or sharing it for feedback?
Protecting your idea keeps nothing including yourself. When you share your idea to someone, when you share the problems that you are solving to someone, what you achieve is something great when you get a feedback. Because we always think my idea is one of the best idea. But unless you share to someone, unless you hear the criticism from someone, your belief is gonna belief only, right? But someone will come and break the thought. No, why you are not thinking in that aspect? So this is what you get in the feedback. So feedback is 1,000 times important, right?
Yes, sir. Fear of failure or fear of regret?
Fear of failure or fear of regret. So fear of regret is something you will carry it whole life. Okay. But the fear of failure is a shot. It's a dose. This dose gonna boost you. So failure is basically a step. But regret was a full stop. You made it. You completed it. Right. So maybe even you take an example, I'll feel like, I have studied pretty good chemistry in my school. Okay, that when I work in the battery, right? We develop a battery. When my teammates are two guys are from proper chemistry background, when they discuss some topics on that, I'll be missing it. I feel bad. Oh, still I feel regret for not studying the chemistry. Okay, but whenever I find time, I go and study basic chemistry, but still I feel regretted. But if it is a failure, right? I feel bad for regret. But if I look at my past failures, I feel motivated. Oh, we cracked that. We came to the next level, right? So failure is important. Regret, you should be avoided it.
Being the smartest person in the room or building the best team?
Being the smartest person in the room, the question is how long you'll be smart, right? But when you have a team, right? When you are not smarter, they will outsmart you. When they are not smarter, then you will outsmart them, right? So accumulative effort together in a team was very, very critical for a start, right? So team comes first.
The next one, reading about your customers or talking to them?
Reading about a customer is good, but talking to the customer is great. Why? Because you get from their words, right? So every reaction, right? So let's say I put a question to a customer. Okay, are you happy with the job? Right? Like you would say, I'm very happy. The questioning is very important, right? I heard that in an article says like, all the people in your company are very, very happy. Then you should see their face reaction. Huh? Really? No, we are not happy. So being a founder, you're supposed to trick the questions so that you get answer from them. Right? Speaking with them is very, very important. And the report, one more thing is, when you read the 100-page report about the customer, the report was with someone's perspective.
Yes.
Correct? It's not with your perspective. When you speak with them, you are getting it from your perspective that you are getting the answer. That's very, very important.
So lastly, which one do you choose? Waiting for the perfect moment or starting on a messy Monday?
There's nothing perfect moment, right? So I would never say, maybe people say it's like, today is like Saturday, today is like tomorrow is Tuesday, no good things will happen. Like, no, every day is a day. Every time is yours. Are you really have the courage to jump in to do it, right? That's it. There is no proper time that I'll finish my degree, I'll go to a job for 3-4 years. What you learn in job for 4 years, tell me? You stuck with one technology, you'll be keep doing it. One thing you would have learned is soft skills, how to speak with people, right? That you will get it better than that when you get 4 hit from 4 customers.
Yes.
Right? So there is no perfect moment for anything. Okay? Everything, your starting is a perfect moment, madam. You started it, the moment you jump into the water, right?
Yes.
That's a perfect moment.
Okay, sir, that went smoothly. The journey that you have explained till now, from the fear to the first no, it's what basically Yantriksha X Hub is trying to build up. What do you think about the Yantriksha X Hub's concept of -1, 0 and 1? How do you think it will help in the cross-disciplinary collaboration? And also, how do you think it will help students to overcome the stagnation level?
Good. So, look at my own example, right? So, I told about myself so far. So, even my life itself, it's a reflection of a kind of an Yantriksha Club story, right? Look at interdisciplinary was one of the most important thing. So, why interdisciplinary? Because no product comes with only one engineering segment. Materials, altogether forms a great product. So, interdisciplinary is one of very, very important. So, I really appreciate that you guys come up with the thought of making an interdisciplinary club where mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, electronics engineer, civil engineer, all together, including a law, media, anyone can able to come and join. They can able to propose their ideas, come with their problem statements, where we can able to make a team, right? So one, you can able to build a good team with this, a team of a complementary skill set, as I said earlier, right? This two, you're achieving it. Three, you get fund also from the institute, because your institute is more proactively working towards how can enhance the startups from the students' mindset. On top of it, you are not married, correct? You guys are not married. You guys no need to pay back money to your parents, right? There is no kids for you to pay school fee, and you have good amount of time in your college.
Yes.
So what do you think? This is the most, I would say, the best time for you to learn about yourself first. Okay. So all these things will start with throw the phone away, discuss with people, build a good teams.
Yes.
Right. And eventually this, you will start seeing a change in you, right? I don't need to tell that, right? So the moment you follow certain stuff for at least a week or 15-20 days, then you will see a drastic change. To be honest, this advice, the phone usage advice, I give to all my students whenever I go for teaching. Still I teach, right? So
yes,
many of students, right? So at least like 10% of the students who takes my word, they give a try. And everyone's response to this was really amazing, because they found something different in them. The thought process, the way they interact with people, the way understand things itself has been changed, right? So something, the killer is with you. Okay.
yes,
So use it. Either it's a productive tool or a killer tool, right?
yes.
So on the club, okay, maybe you guys should make this as a ritual in your club. Okay. So you should follow certain things in the
Yes.
club. 1, you get the first success. 2, you got a good team. 3, you got a money from your TBS, right? So of course, I also try to speak with the concerned person about how can I consider a small chunk of money for the prototyping, right? So for the problem validation, for the travel and so on, right? And to put in the right ecosystem to do this job, right? So that's of course possible, right? And people are ready for that from the institute also. I think put all together, it's one of the greatest success from the student community, for the students, by the students, you are making it, right? So I think it's really great initiative. It's one of very great mindful thought within the student community to come up with that. I really appreciate, and I'm there to assist in terms of any aspect at any time. Of course, I'm very open to that. And of course, we are here to guide, and who's going to walk? It's you. So are you ready to take the challenge is the question, right? It's not about ecosystem, everything, right? So that's what people say, no? When you wish, universe will help you, right? First question is, are you having that wish? Okay. If you had a wish, anything will come to help, right? So keep this in mind, right? So had a vision, buddy. Okay. So one point, if you want to add it, you should have a goal. Once you have a goal, you had a driving force, right? You start accelerating yourself faster. When you don't have a goal, like what do you want to get? People say, I want to get a placement. A placement, like what? You want to get into a 10,000 job, or you want to get into a 50,000 job, or you want to get into a 5 lakh rupee job, right? So what company that you want to be? You can say, look, blindly, I want to get placed in Google. In Google, people get salary of 15,000 rupee just by giving technical assistance. Or people, they get 10 to a lakh as a salary per month as a developer. What do you want to be? First, define yourself clear. You understood, right? So
Yes, sir.
your ultimate goal should be define yourself clear, right? So, and what are the questions or what are the doubts you have? There are lots of AI chatbots. Like you take OpenAI, ChatGPT or Gemini, it gives beautiful conversation within you, right? So where you can able to find yourself. So now it's all about how to prompting it. Okay, that's more than enough.
Yes.
Okay, so and mark my one more words. In this AI era, we as a startup, we use AI in and out, which means that earlier, if this job should have been done, there should be 10 people should be there in a company. Today, all the 10 people job has been taken by AI.
Yes, sir.
You think of we small company doing this, think of a bigger companies. Okay. So in this AI era, just by learning, I'll be a UI developer, or I'll be a Java developer, or I'll be a testing engineer. Your job is at high stake. It's at high risk. Why AI is going to take is your job and is going to outperform your skill set.
Yes, sir.
So maybe you guys should really revisit your thoughts of what the goal that you kept it for your future, right? Maybe one can survive in this AI era is like one who can able to convert your great problems thoughts into a startup. Maybe you can actually, maybe you start adopting AI. That's what I mean, right? Like, learn AI in and out. Like, simple thing that there's nothing big complex stuff to learn in AI, buddy. It's all about how good you understand yourself, how good you can able to reflect your thoughts into a right prompts with structured way so that you get what you wanted it. Right? So earlier, to do market research, we spend months and months. And today with Gemini, with the deep research, with the 2.5 Pro, the result that what I get is amazing. I don't know whether you guys believe it or not. If I sit for one whole year, if you make a report, in a matter of 10-15 minutes, I get that report. Can you see the comparison? 1 year, 10-15 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Completely negligible time, right? So I get it. And I can parallelly write 10 different prompts for 10 different research. My 10 years of effort become 10 minutes now. Can you see that, right? So it's very, very important. So learn the current breakthroughs happening in the world. Okay, being a computer engineer or being an engineer itself or being an entrepreneur, your job is to update yourself daily, not updating yourself with the trending videos, with the trending tweets, trending news articles, who speaks about technology, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's very important, right? So look at, we are with your teammates, with students in your group, we are trying to build an agents.
Yes, sir.
Agents performance is so amazing. Correct. So how many of you guys know about agents? AI agents. How many of you know how to build an AI agent? Right. So go and explore new things, right? So maybe in this exploration, you will find, okay, can I build a startup on this segment? I find it more interesting. Right. So
Yes, sir.
your job ultimately consistently work on. Somewhere you will find yourself. Okay.
Yes.
So no one have found themselves and then they become a great entrepreneur, right? Somewhere the whole environment support has been helped them and eventually they found and they become bigger people, right? So there is no hard and this is the path that you should follow. You become an entrepreneur. If then everyone become entrepreneur, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you define your path by identifying yourself, right? So that's ultimately you need to do it.
Okay, sir. Moving on, we've previously had a conversation about the loneliness of a founder. So how do you think Yantriksha X Hub's relation with alumni, industry experts, and the TBI will help a student starting on day one itself?
Okay, great. In fact, I missed that, right? So Yantriksha is something, it fills all the gaps. Okay, maybe when I was into a startup ecosystem, we got funding, but I don't have some good expert suggestion to it at the early stage, right? But with the Yantriksha Club, where you connect funding from your TBI, you get all the interesting people to your circle, plus you get the people who are in industry, right? Who are in industry, who are experiencing this. There are a lot of your alumni are working in, are building their own startup. There are a lot of alumni are working as scientists. A lot of people who are working as a great engineer in a company. So you get a pool of talents with well experience where their heart is also connected to the institute. The moment you go with your questions, or the moment you go with the doubts, they'll be happy to guide you, right? So this is another one of the biggest success of your Yantriksha Club, right?
Yes.
So where you get fun, you get team, you get idea, you get thought from different people. And this is an ideal combination, buddy. To be honest, it's one of the ideal combination that where everything is in a place. Only thing is, are you ready to take it? Right? So the same statement, I'm repeating it. For you, you are really lucky enough. You are in 2025, nothing was a problem except your thoughts. If your thoughts are clear, everything in place, you can take it to the next level.
So, sir, can you share a few important points that students should adapt in order to settle in the fast-paced society of startups or in their career?
So maybe the first point, what you should really adopt in your everyday life is calculate your screen time. Reduce it. Keep that as one of the goal in your life. Stop notifications, mobile, right? This too is very important. Because once you stop this, then only you can get remaining all the stuff. Every day, spend 1 hour for self-improvement. Okay, read some books which provoke your thoughts in a positive way. Right? Sorry. Okay. 2, read 1 hour of technical documents which you find it more interesting. A technical report or research report or anything. Let's say I'm more interested in agriculture. I'll go read about agriculture-based news, agriculture-based research reports, and if I get a chance, I speak with some people in the agriculture segment, right? And I think this, no phone, 1 hour of self-improvement, 1 hour of your knowledge improvement in terms of technical stuff. I think this itself is one of the greatest achievement, right? See, we stick with this for 4 years. That's more than enough. You are gonna be unbeatable. Okay?
Yes.
But exactly what we miss is what we don't do this.
Yes.
So your college, your degree, your grade, all comes with secondary, right? First you. Once you are great, things become around you will also become great, right? So you make yourself great with your inner peace. I think that's one of the amazing things.
Yes, sir. So, finally, could you share an unwritten lesson that you have learned through your experience for the students?
So an unwritten lesson is what? Okay, you should not stick only with your curriculums, the books, the concept. Find a practical application. Don't fear of testing it. Okay, open it. Okay, one simple question I'll ask you, right? There are lots of computer engineers, right?
Yes.
You guys are studying, right? How many of you opened your laptop? Means not this opening, right? Turn back, screw it, unscrew stuff, take the panel out. How many of you opened it? Ask yourself.
Yes.
I'm a computer engineer. Even I don't know how to fix my own laptop. What's the point of being a computer engineer? Let's say you are a doctor, you got a fever. Will you go to some other doctor for a treatment? But you guys, we does that, you know? Don't you feel shame for that? Of course, I feel it, okay? So, being my students, they couldn't even open a laptop, right? So, I'll keep this as one of my assignment, right? So, I give 10 to 20 marks out of 100 marks in the end semester for opening the laptop. What stops you to open the laptop? You know what? The fear. What if I open a laptop? What if it is not working? Correct?
Yes, sir.
If you have this fear, you will never break the fear, right? So somewhere someone should help you to break this fear, right? Your thought should be find people who can help you to break the fears, right? So fear was one of the critical point. The moment you break the fear, the emotion, the feeling that you feel inside is something miracle. Oh my God, I opened a laptop, I saw everything, I removed the RAM, everything I put it back, I fixed it. And when you switch on, it's powered on. You know what is the confidence level that you will get at that moment? Right? Every fear you break, you gain on confidence. This confidence will be never given by anyone, any motivator, none. It's your inner feeling. This will come only when you break the fear, right? So as I said, startup, you always have a fear. When you think of an exam, you always have a fear. When you think of something trying new, you always have a fear, right? So find a possible way to break that fear. If you find you couldn't find a way, search for people who can able to help you to break that fear. They come with a better strategy to break the fear, right? So maybe if I ask them to just open a laptop, they never open it. I put a condition. it's one of the mandatory for your course. They have no other option, right? So
Sir.
this kinds of situation also you put yourself, right? Put yourself in a harsh environment. Try to survive. Okay, this gives you more confidence.
Yes, sir.
So one of the common factor with all the students we have is the fear. Okay, maybe you should find a way to break the fear. I think if you find this way, that you find a self way to break each and every fear, then you are the greatest person in the world, right? So I think things all are on a place. What's going to stop you is only your fear. Maybe you should find a way to break the fear, then you are unstoppable.
Okay, sir. The goal is to stop procrastinating and just jump into the action. We thank you for being here and navigate us through this. And also, sir, thank you for giving the founders plots and also for giving the roadmap to travel through. The feeling of being stuck is not a continuous burden. It's a solvable problem. You have the founder place the escape plan. The only thing that's missing is your decision to start. At Yantriksha X Hub, we've created an ecosystem with mentors, alumni, TBI, and the industry experts to help the students from day one and beyond. The startup reality is tough, but the regret is tougher. Don't let your ideas die in your notebook. Thanks for tuning into Unwritten Lessons. Meet you all in the next episode.